Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Starting Out with Quantum Computing. My name is Lloyd, and I think we have a very interesting topic today. Today is all about how much is it to buy a quantum computer. So there are loads of quantum computers and loads of different types of quantum computers out there. But let's say you wanted to buy one. How much would it cost? So generally within Starting Out with Quantum Computing, this series, I've emphasized that the main limitation of quantum computers is noise. And this is true, but I suppose I have been slightly glossing over another important point. At the moment, the top-end quantum computers are incredibly expensive. This means that development within this sector of quantum computing is not cheap, but at least it is not completely monopolized and dominated by large companies such as Google or Amazon. Indeed, there are also impressive startup companies who have received funding from investors, such as IQM. The point to be made here is that to make an impressive proof of concept quantum computer, it's not too expensive, but to make a fully functional and hopefully one day fault-tolerant quantum computer would cost a fortune. To build a quantum computer, one must fund the material cost, then the building, the manufacturing, the testing, the rigorous setup, and finally must keep it powered when in use. There are, of course, many more hidden costs. And this is no easy feat, and it can require large groups of people, each of whom must be paid, of course, for their labour. Since quantum computers are a relatively new technology, there is no universal blueprint on how to construct them, meaning it can take up to decades of research to produce a final product. So let's take a look at some price tags. Small-scale quantum computers. These are typically quantum computers that are compact and can cost upwards of $10,000, depending on how you configure it. But with the low coherence times and small qubit numbers, they cannot be used for scientific progress or to solve anything particularly useful. What they are good at is for education, for learning in the classroom. They allow students to get exposure on real quantum hardware that actually performs quantum operations. This can be incredibly beneficial for universities. And so some examples of these small-scale quantum computers are SpinQ Gemini Mini, which is 2 qubits, the IQM Spark machine, which is 5 qubits, and Rigetti's Novera QPU, which is 9 qubits. Let's move on to something a little bit bigger. On the medium scale, we can consider quantum computers that are around 50 to a couple hundred qubit size, and they can provide and start to provide useful computation. That being said, the cost of purchasing a medium-scale quantum computer would start at around $1 million and go up from there. So this is definitely not for the majority of people. They aren't the most powerful, but in the same token, they don't eat up as much power as these sort of news headlines, large quantum computers. This means that they can be used for efficient quantum computation, such as with certain easier but research-relevant problems, maybe an optimization problem that doesn't have too many parameters. These computers are generally favorable for certain companies that aren't going to manufacture their own quantum computer, yet can benefit from buying one for their industry-specific research. As the quantum computer starts to grow to this size, to this medium scale, you have to consider other costs as well. You'll need a team of experts to operate it. Perhaps it is a cryogenic system. This will drain costly energy. Even if it's not cryogenic, it is likely to require specialized conditions in order to be effective, such as laboratory-grade rooms with air-gapped rooms and vibration-free floors. The hidden costs add up, is the point. Some examples of middle-sized quantum computers are Atom Computing's Phoenix 100-qubit machine. Or take a look at IBM. They have numerous cloud-based quantum computers that range from about 127 to 156 qubits. Or perhaps take a look at Xanadu's Borealis, a 216-qubit quantum computer. But I think where it starts to get really exciting is in the large-scale quantum computers. So unless if you work for a huge company, you won't be seeing one of these easily. Large-scale quantum computers can start at around $10 million and go up from there. Generally, these machines are high-performance, industrial grade, and are capable of running the most advanced quantum algorithms with high rates of success. They will be used by large corporations, military institutions, research facilities, things like that. And not only will they be incredibly expensive to make, but they will also be incredibly expensive to maintain. So you'll need very specific conditions and a very sort of ideal and well-planned infrastructure to ensure this quantum computer is operating at its full potential. As you increase the number of qubits, it is crucial that the conditions that keep the qubits coherent are actually met. So here are some estimates. Firstly, the quantum computing chip, whichever one you choose, will probably set you back about $10 million if it's a very top of the range one. Sometimes I've seen it for even more. Cryogenic systems can cost around $1 million. You might not need cryogenics. This can save some cost. On top of this, you'll need a team of experts to work and perform maintenance on the quantum computer. This will cost you around $600,000 per year. Then you've got to ensure the building is secure, not only from a security standpoint, but also from a lab grade condition standpoint. You've got to make sure that the building isn't going to be wrecked by weather, by external things that could interfere with experiments and the quantum computer in itself. And that could cost you around $500,000. Then you have to include training and workshops, licensing, software support, customer end services, and all-round maintenance of your quantum company. So, long story short, if you want to make a quantum computing company with a large and powerful quantum computer, you'll need minimum hundreds of billions of dollars to invest. So at this point, you're probably thinking, oh, well, these are numbers, and I'm thinking this as well. These are numbers which are so far removed from everyday life. What can the individual do? For the individual, however, now couldn't be a better time to be interested in quantum computing. Expensive quantum computers have existed for quite a while, but cloud-based quantum computing is relatively a new thing to exist. Cloud-based quantum computing refers to subscription-based services that quantum computing companies offer for the individual to use. Of course, this is for a fraction of the price of an actual quantum computer. So what this means is that users can submit their code and send it over to a powerful quantum computer, and then after a bit of wait time, they'll get their result back. And for services like this, you'll be looking to pay around $50 to $100 per small task. So yes, it's still not great, but it does kind of make sense that it would cost this much. And there are some platforms that offer users free time per month. So it's of no surprise that quantum computers are so expensive. They are an emerging technology, and they require the most incredibly precise conditions in order to work. They'll likely become the technology of the future. And this is not just hype. Investors, stock markets, researchers, scientists, world leaders, they all believe in it. And in a sense, the current cost of the quantum computer reflects the challenging stage that we are currently in. We are in the NISQ era, the noisy intermediate scale quantum computer era. But as we learn to make our quantum computers more efficient, energy efficient, and resilient to errors, their cost will decrease. Then they will start being spread into a wide array of commercial industries. Perhaps one day they might even be regarded as commonplace. We don't exactly know when this will be, but it is definitely on the horizon. Thank you very much, as always, for listening to Starting Out with Quantum Computing. If you enjoyed, please share it with a friend who might be interested. and I very much hope to see you in next week's podcast. Goodbye for now.